Okay. I pressed the button of going live, so hopefully we go live now. Yeah, the computer says I'm live. Let me double check my sound because last time I forgot about it. Okay, the sound seems okay, but welcome everybody to my live stream. I'm really hoping everybody can hear me good, okay, and everything is perfect. We are back with our Wednesday live streams. Woohoo! It's been a while since last Sunday was the first stream of the year. This is technically the second stream of the year, so yay. Hi Johan. Thank you for telling me that I sound good. Okay, that's perfect. This is Craft My Artwork, and we craft our artwork. Do we actually anymore? Yeah, we kind of craft it. We kind of do stuff, right? Small bit of let's say to give out my tip. We are now working from home right now, so working from home because cold mort is raging everywhere. So I actually drew this while having several meetings today. So I had a day full of meetings. I had a day full of a lot of stuff. So my meetings were well, it's not that they were boring, it's just that I had to listen to a lot of things. So while I listen, I like to draw. So I decided that I'm gonna challenge myself this year. There is one flower that I absolutely until now, and even now I'm like doubtful, right? I just could not draw, and that is a ranunculus. And I know it's a very weird it's a very weird name today. A ranunculus looks like a mix between a rose and a peony, but it is much more compact, okay? And if a rose, for example, I drew this rose, if a rose kind of the petals go this way, go onto the outside, right? And they open onto the outside. The ranunculus always is like going into the inside. It's like, whoo. Let me see if I can show you a picture on my phone of a ranunculus so that you guys can see. I should have done this beforehand, right? Let's go to Google. Ranunculus images. Okay. This is a ranunculus. Okay, so if I look at this picture, you can see how the petals they're very close to each other, but they're kind of going inward and not really outward, not like a rose, right? So I always had this trouble drawing this one because I either draw it like super symmetrical in anything. Although this flower looks symmetrical, it's not really symmetrical. I have a tendency to just like super symmetrical drawing, super symmetrical, and it just doesn't look nice, right? So I was trying really hard to figure out. Believe it or not, I looked on Pinterest. I looked everywhere for ways to draw this flower, and I gave up at one moment. I was like, I don't know where I can learn to draw this flower. So I just I just tried it, and actually, this is where I started this morning. I was starting with just a pencil, and I was just starting to to try to draw. So I was like, okay, let's see if I start at the center, like with the center, and then go outwards. Wasn't really too pleased. This was too much controlled. This was just weird. I don't know what I was doing here. And then I kind of realized that you can do it in a way. So I was trying to always, at every flower that I draw, I try to draw it from the center outward. So I make the center and then I go outward. That is the normal flower that I do. But this one, I figured that the easiest way is the other way around. So start with the outer layer and then do it inside, going inward. Okay, so my first page, not so good, right? This was my second page. I tried to do it not with a pencil, but just with me. Some of them look very strange. So I was just very fast drawing. I was like, okay, let's see how I can go. this one turned out very symmetrical. I don't like it at all. This one turned out really looking more like a rose than a ranunculus, right? So I kept going, and I was trying to figure out what the shape is, and I thought I will never get the shape ready, right? This is what I thought. I tried even from the side, and again I'm making it way too symmetrical somehow. Way too symmetrical. I haven't yet figured out the side, okay? But at the end, I came with kind of this type of idea, right? I was starting on the outside, and I was making this kind of mini moons kind of thing. And I thought, okay, I'm going somewhere, but then I need a place where to just do it, okay? So I was just trying it, and I was like, I can't commit on this paper because this is just notebook paper. So I said, okay, I'll just pick up an expensive arches paper. And then I need to be careful how I draw because I hate wasting arches paper. So then I just drew this one, and it turned out okay. I think I went a little bit far. There's two school of thoughts, right? Here I tried to also make these petals that are folding, right? If I look now at the ranunculus, I'm realizing they don't really have folding petals. Don't know why I made them, but I made them. But I realized that by drawing them like this, it looks much better as a line art. And I interceded them with roses, right? Because I wanted to make roses and ranunculuses. So maybe next time I wouldn't go as far as making this kind of turned petals, but still, as I only started today, I think as the first try, it's perfect. Okay, so I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just saying that I'm not perfect. It's not like I can draw any flower on earth, or it's not like I can do anything. I am learning the same as many of you, right? I'm trying to find a tutorial. If I cannot find, literally, I was looking through all my books. I have on my desk around 6 books laid out. I was trying to see if in any of my books I have any description on how to draw a ranunculus. I found it in one of the books, like really old book, but it wasn't any help, as in I just couldn't follow that tutorial. It was too complicated. It was like going like, oh, so you make a little circle and then a line here, and then all of a sudden the finished stuff. So not sure. Not sure about that one, okay? But anyway, this is what we're working on today, and I just wanted to color them in, and I actually wanted the roses to be either yellow or with this nice galaxy pink. And then the ranunculus, I need to make it more like orangey or peachy, right? I want to make them more like peach and orange, and maybe red and other colors, right? Let's try. And then I'll do the leaves at the end. Okay, so hope that is an enough explanation about how I came to this design. It's not gonna be the last design. I also want to have my own version of this ranunculus. Of course, there's many versions in a doodle area, right? Doodle ones, but I'm not really into that. So yeah, anyway, let's start. I would say I will start with some of the roses because they seem easy, and I always start with something like that gets me into the, I'm not gonna say into the mood, but it gets me started. I would say like warming up my watercolor muscles, basically, right? So I start with this nickel azo yellow. And let me think, how many roses do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roses. So we can do 3 and 3. We can do 3 with the yellow, and I'm just gonna go over everything except these parts. By the way, nice thing, I got my number 4 Escoda Versatil finally, so I'm happy. I am very happy. I'm just adding water. I'm not adding more color. Escoda Versatil is one of my most favorite brushes ever because really, I can really go in every direction, and it can hold a lot of water. So that really helps. Notice that I did these marks on the flower, this semi hatching, how you want to call it, in the direction where the petals will go, just to give the hint of movement of the petals. Okay, so now you know. This is just the first layer, so don't get too hung up on it, because we're gonna go in with darker colors and darker colors and darker colors, and you know, make it proper, right? But I just want to block in the colors so that we know what we were working on with, and we know, you know, we kind of go ahead with the color scheme basically. So I'm gonna make this one a yellow. Okay, blocking in the color. And which one should I make yellow? This one. I'm making small strokes, as you can see, just to spread around. That's because the surrounding leaves and everything, they are pretty, I would say, delicate, and they have all sorts of round edges and spiky edges, so I want to ensure that we don't mess things up. Okay, so I'm done with the yellow for now. And the other ones, what did I want? Actually, I think the other one, do I really want to do them with the galaxy pink? Or do I want the roses to be red and the other ones to be... No. Let's do the galaxy. The galaxy pink is a, let's say, more interesting version from the Potter's pink. Actually, I think Potter's pink is... Galaxy pink is made with Potter's pink, and you have another color that is added to make it like this. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add lots of water to it, right? And then I'm gonna spread it around, and this way we make it more pale. Yeah, okay. So what was today? Today was a really bad weather day in the Netherlands, or at least in my city where I live. It rained and rained and rained and rained and rained the whole day. It was only raining. It was pretty cold as well. And yeah, I was hoping that I could go out and, you know, stretch my legs, but because of the rain, I just stayed home. I wanted to go to the park and just walk around, but that was not meant to be. So yeah, bummer for today. So I only spend my time today at work, basically, in the chair next to me. And while at work, I managed to actually draw this. It is amazing that it did take me a while. I think it took me about 2 hours to finish all, and that is mainly also because of all the details that I added, all the lines, all the stuff. Yeah, it took me a while, and no, I have not spent all my day drawing this at work, because you know, that would also be boring. But I did spend quite a portion of it, and I'm glad I did, because I really, in a way, you know, my initial idea was, I'm gonna make this, and I'm gonna just make it in pencil, and then during the live stream I'm just gonna draw it out and I'm gonna explain and all that stuff. But I was too happy for finding at least one way of doing the flowers, right? Even though maybe it's not as realistic as I was hoping. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It's actually looking pretty good. I'm going to refine this and it's gonna look much better. I kind of did the same with the peony, like, and with the anemone as the first times when I learned how to draw them. Like, it took me a long time, especially the peony. The peony literally took me like years to master, right? But now it seems to that it doesn't take us much time as it used to be. Okay, maybe it will take me a week or two until I get the hang of it. And then what I want is I really want to get myself into the position where I like how it looks like, right? I don't want it to be... Okay, this is really a dark orange. I added lots of red to this one. I think the peach you can only do if you are doing some white to this orange. Let me see if I have, by any chance, close by some white. No, I don't. Oh no, I put my gouache away. Okay, so I cannot do peach. Fine, I won't do peach. Let me think what I can do. So some of them will be red. How many do I have? I wanna count how many I have so that I don't necessarily put two colors on the same pot. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are together. These are together. These are kind of together. These are also together, and these two are together. So there's always twos. Oh look, I forgot a yellow part here. How could I forget this part? In the meantime, let me do the yellow part. So then maybe one should be with this Tundra Violet kind of thing. And then we go with the Galaxy Violet, or we go Galaxy Violet, Tundra Violet as the more intense. And then we go with the red on the other one, okay? And this one we use for the yellow ones. Okay, so let me get this one. Galaxy Violet. It's a really nice color, by the way. Galaxy Violet is when you get super granulating colors, and maybe right now you won't necessarily see that, but on super granulating colors they're usually made out of two colors. So if you let them dry, right, or put a lot of water, in the end it will dry, and it will separate the colors. You notice that this color, this is the Galaxy Violet, is actually made out of a nice blue and a really nice red, hence why you have Galaxy Violet. And then let's do this. Guess what? I wanted the big one to be red and that one to be red, right? So the centers of the ranunculus I made with the basically some round circles, right? I will draw them out with a different color, probably with some yellow or something like that. Let me just try to pick up the color from the middle. Sometimes it's just easier to lay down the color and then just pick it up afterwards. Then you get a more smoother, almost white, I would say. And then I can add the yellow in the middle. And as a second layer, I'll just do individual petals, and I'll just try to make the shadows, right? As in color in the petals that needed to be darker and the ones that needed to be lighter, etc, etc, etc. So for now, this is the color. Okay, that's good. Almost it looks like red, this one. Okay. This time I paid more attention to the center, so I didn't have to work as hard to make it white again. The first layer, I'm thinking I tend to be more careful with the first layer, but today for some reason I'm like, okay, it's just the first layer, don't worry, you're gonna probably have like 7 million other layers on top of that, so I'm just doing it as fast as I can just to block in the colors. Like I said, I don't want two colors of the same to be next to each other, so that's why. Okay. This one. And I'm really careful around the leaf. What I don't like is when I am not very careful, and then I mean, you can always layer the colors. Look, now I wasn't very careful. I didn't look very good in this area. You can kind of layer the colors, but some colors like this super granulating one are pretty staining, and you don't really want to layer on top of it, because then you're gonna create some harsh, let's say, edges. Okay, that one red, and I don't want two reds next to each other, so I'm gonna make this one. So this one is gonna be like this, purple, which is funny. Okay, I need more color. It's always good to have your colors in a pan or somewhere where you can mix it with water, especially when you're working in layers. This is one thing that I learned out of, if you learn anything from me, right, it's easier to add color than to remove color. So then when you work in layers, don't make it super dark. And I know I've made this mistake. I've made this mistake so many times in my watercolors, and the result is not very good. I have so many unpublished work that I'm sometimes afraid to publish, because I know it's not my best work. I know that I made mistakes, and I shouldn't have. Okay, so this gonna be red, this gonna be red, this is gonna be red. That means this can be purple, this can also be red, this can also be red, right? Okay. My counting is really backwards, really bad. Yeah. And you might think now, okay, you've done it here. It's okay. I'm just washing my brush with water and then coming in and spreading this beautiful color around. And I really love the super granulation effect. You might not be able to see it on camera. That is the unfortunate thing of these live streams and everything. You might not see the super granulating effect on camera very well. This is the unfortunate part. Okay, guess what red I'm gonna do? My favorite red, which is alizarin crimson. You might think, why, Claudia, why alizarin crimson? I don't know. And not just any alizarin crimson. The only one alizarin crimson that I like is the Daniel Smith one, because when it dries, it actually dries like the real color. Which is, you cannot say that about many others. And alizarin crimson is a mix, I think. That's very similar to quinacridone rose, yeah. And it actually works very well with the other colors, especially with the pinks and all of those. Of course, again, this is the first layer, so it might look a bit weird, but don't worry. As the first layer goes, this is perfect. Looks more pinkish than normal, but then we're really going to add layer after layer after layer. Okay, so last stream I did actually gouache, and I have to admit that I have not done any gouache since. I had many plans, but I just didn't have enough energy and time. Sometimes you have to admit it to yourself when you're too tired, and you have to say to yourself, okay, I am too tired, I cannot actually do the stuff anymore. And I can see that I'm tired when I no longer can draw properly. If I am drawing and nothing looks the way I want it, I know for a fact that it is because I'm tired. So I just know I need to just go sleep or go do something else. It makes no sense to continue working when you are that tired, because nothing good will come out of it. It's not like other jobs where you can just grind it down and go for it and work and do stuff. It's just like your mind. I mean, your mind might be sharp or something, but your arms will not follow your mind. Okay, trust me. Ask me how I know, because I know. So you don't want to do that. Okay, 3 more of these, and then we're done with the base layer for this. I'm wondering, maybe I should do a base layer for, yeah, I will do the base layer for the leaves as well. You know, in theory, you could just also leave it like this. This is very pastel-y, right? And it gives it more of a spring vibe, if you're thinking about it. So you could, in theory, just leave it like this, but I'm not gonna, right? Still looks nice, it still looks pretty. I'm leaving the centers alone because I want to add kind of a combination of yellow with green in the center. Kind of how normal ranunculuses are. Okay, I'm really sorry that I don't have my gouache with me, because I would have made some peach color. And because I saw many ranunculus in real life having this peach color, but I did not think very well through. So my apologies. Okay. I'm using the number 4. I had the number 3 here, but I don't think I actually need the number 3 that much. Okay, so it's easier if I rotate the painting and then I paint here. This corner was actually the first corner that I did, which is very funny. I started in this corner. This is how I start with this kind of doodle episodes. I start in a corner, and then I might do one in the center. I start in a corner, I do one in the center, but you can notice that everything overlaps from this corner. I don't know if you can notice it, but this is where I started, and this is where we are right now. When I'm gonna remove the tape, you're gonna notice that I employed a certain style while making this. And the style is that the flowers are broken, as in it looks like they're walking off the edge, but they're not, because, you know, it's gonna be a harsh line here, but they're not finished. So this is also a style of doing things. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna do the leaves half with this thunder green, and the thunder green is more of an olive kind of greenish. Maybe I should add some yellow in it to make it even. Yeah, that looks good. I'm mixing in with yellow. I'm making it very light, and then the other one I'm gonna do it with this forest blue, which is a blue green, a nice really blue green. So, you know, these are the two ones. So again, I'm trying not to make two of the same, two leaves that are next to each other. I'm gonna try to not make them of the same color. And the way I'm doing this, and I'm going to rotate this painting a lot more times, is I'm adding the color to the bottom of the leaf, and then I'm gonna come with a clean brush and I'm gonna spread it around. And then the second layer, you will see me doing stuff. Okay, that's good. I might want to pick up some color from some parts to make it lighter, because I don't want it to be monotonous. And another effect of the super granulation colors is that they're easy to lift, like super easy to lift. Okay, so if I wanted to lift the color, it's very possible. Which is good in a way. Okay, which one should I do here? I will do one here. I will do one here. I will do one. I might still end up with one or two that are very similar next to each other, but let's pray that that is not the case. Okay. So, what else? I was reading what's been happening around the world, and yeah, not very inspiring. It's a shame that also not very many movies are coming out lately, because I would have loved to go to the movies also, or to see something on the big screen, but I haven't been to the movies in a very long time. So for now, we're just watching movies here. Okay. We finished watching Hawkeye. It was really nice on Disney. What else did we finish watching? Arkane, we finished watching. Hawkeye. I'm rewatching Loki at the moment. I don't know if you guys watch Loki, but I really liked Loki, and now I'm watching it again because it's a really nice movie, and I want to get prepared because you never know when season number 2 arrives. So I need to be prepared. I was wondering what other movie I need to rewatch. I finished rewatching also The Mandalorian. Oh yeah, we binge watched on The Witcher. Okay, The Witcher. It took a while to get into the story, right? It's just season 2 is a little bit more about them as a person and some backstory than, you know, the very fast-paced kind of thing that was happening in season 1, where you didn't know what was going on, you didn't know where it's going to come, you know. So I missed that. So only after a few episodes I got into the hang of it, but you know, I'm always stubborn, let's put it this way, so I'm always going to watch till the end. Yep. So I'm curious how many minutes, if I can get it up until 30 minutes of just the first layer. I'm just wondering at this moment in time. Some people might think I'm crazy, but I think this is gonna be a 1.5 hour kind of thing. 1.5 hour team. Pretty sure. Usually these big pieces cannot be small. They usually take a long time. So I'm not making any illusions for myself that it's gonna be taking lesser time. Man, I think I'm going to spread this around, and then I'm going to pick up the extra color. If you didn't know, these colors are usually pretty dark. This blue-green is pretty dark. So I just want to make sure that I'm having it correctly here, and I'm going to go rematch. By the way, the leaves I did, it's kind of a combination. It looks a little bit like a rose's leaf because they have the tiny hooks on the side. Okay, so yeah. But what have I been watching lately on YouTube and so on? What have I been spending my time on? I actually did some Skillshare classes, right, for gouache and so on. And I started again this morning. I was watching some iPad tutorials because I want to pick up also that one. So I was watching how to do certain things on the iPad, on Procreate, of course, because, well, that's why everybody gets an iPad, to use Procreate. So that's what I was learning. I was learning how to make, basically, I was trying to learn how to make my flowers in watercolor in Procreate. I know it's tough ask because having flowers in Procreate, it's quite a lot. Okay. And now I think it's time that I turn it around. I still like how it looks so far because it's very pastel-y. Don't know if you guys noticed this, but it's like super pastel. It's very good. I think I forgot some red there. Yeah, that's okay. When you're doing this, then you figure out where did you forget stuff. Okay. Now I have only a few leaves left, and then that's it for the first layer. We can take a small break so I can take a sip of juice. and then we'll continue. I have been trying to figure out a software that I can have so that I can stream on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. I found some software, of course, some of them cost quite a bit. I just didn't want to make a subscription. For some reason, I don't know why. I just thought, okay, well, figure it out. I think I found Streamlabs to be maybe the one that it should be, although they do still, you know, in order to have the nice features, you still need to pay a little bit every month. But I was thinking that it's not that much. Like Restream.io, that was a lot of cash per month to do basically the same thing. I was like 50 euros a month, what I found, and that is a lot. Okay. Funny part that this yellow looks more like green from this side. I always have a problem with the greens and with the other parts. Okay, if I look on the screen, it actually looks pretty nice because it looks very pastel, like super pastel, right? I'm going to get a bit of cola. My apologies, but you know, been talking a lot. So now let's go and deepen everything. Okay, so which one should be the first one to deepen? Maybe the yellow, since I already have this orange here created. So the orange, I just added alizarin crimson with the nickel azo stuff, yellow. So this is how I made the orange. But maybe I don't need to go directly to the orange. I think I have also this quinacridone gold hue. Let's see how it looks like. Maybe this is gonna be the secondary color, and the orange should be maybe the third color. Okay, so how does it look like so far? I think it looks okay. I think for the rose, the concentrated color should be where the petals meet each other, and then I'm going to add the color, and then I'm going to just blend it out. Maybe I actually need a smaller brush for this. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's try with the big brush. A big brush, it's a number 4. It's not that big, but let's try, see how I can. What I want is to be a little bit more smooth, this color, but I still want the transparency to be there from the yellow. So, you know, I need to be very careful what I do. And not too much water. I think if it has too much water, then it will just run. So I am tapping my brush to the edge of a tissue paper here, just to dab off any excess water that I don't want. And you might wonder, so how do you dab off? How do you know how much excess water it is and how much not it is? And what if you dab off too much and so on? That certainly happens, right? It wouldn't be the first time it happened. It wouldn't be the last time it happened to me. But because I've been doing this for a very long time, okay, I kind of learned the amount of pressure that I need to do, and you know how much I dab off. Doesn't mean that I still don't make mistakes, because I do make a lot of mistakes sometimes. But look how nice it is. Like already, only with the second layer, it looks perfect. I will still add the third layer with really darker color. But yeah, I'm adding a little bit more washed out of this orange to the center ones. I don't want them to be too pronounced. This looks really nice. Okay, so these two yellows are some of my favorite yellows. So Nickel Azo Yellow and Quinacridone Gold Hue. Quinacridone Gold Hue, it's from StreamCam. It's a beautiful orange yellow, okay? So one of my favorites. Yeah, it's really nice too. It's really nice. It's really nice yellow. And, actually, from my bigger palette, I kind of threw away all of the lemon yellows and all of the bright yellows. I don't like bright yellows. I don't like bright colors. I like actually pastels, which you can see, like this kind of colors, which are still muted, right? But I don't like bright colors. Some people like bright colors and some people do a lot with bright colors. I particularly do not fancy them at all. So, you know, this is how we're gonna do it. So notice how I'm just wetting the sides so that I don't have a harsh edge, but I don't pull the color because I still want that yellow to shine. Okay, so watch what I do. I am dabbing and actually, you know, theoretically even picking up color, then cleaning my brush again, and then dabbing this one. Always clean your brush because you will be picking up color, because this is pretty dark. Okay, that's good. Okay, again the second, yeah. Somehow I like roses more in yellow than in red. Don't think bad about me. It's just my preference right now. Okay. How has your weeks been? I mean, this week has been pretty much normal for me. I don't know. How has it been for you guys? Anything interesting or you're proud of? It's the first week of the year, but you know, I'm proud of that I started running again, although I am terrible at it right now. You might wonder what that means. I used to run 5 to 10K every few days. Now I kind of die after 2.5K. So I still have a lot to catch up on, right? I think it will take me at least a month till I can get to at least 5K. I'm not talking about my speed of before, because that's gonna take longer till my speed is back. But yeah, happy I started. I think we did already like 3 runs already, and I also did an exercise. So I want to live healthier and do more healthy stuff in the new year. Hence why I'm doing this. And I'm glad there wasn't the running day today, because if it would have been the running day today, that would have been interesting. Because it was like super raining today. I don't like necessarily to run in rain. I do run in rain because you must, as in when you're a runner, you have to be prepared to run in, let's say, any situation, because you can't just say, oh, it's raining outside, I'm not gonna run, because in the Netherlands it's always raining outside. Almost. You know, so then you're not doing anything, because you're not really running if you're thinking about it. So yeah, really trying to make it more fun. But yeah, running it's something that I used to do very well. Then I got an injury and then I stopped, and then I didn't never started before. Not this much, but I'm pretty sure I have made my goal at least in the first 6 months of the year what I want to do. So let's see if we can stick to it and become a little bit more healthy. And if you run, this is also one way of me getting out of the house, because to be truth, with this whole lockdown and so on, I don't really get out of the house. Not even, we order everything from the supermarket and so on. So it's not like I can say that at least I go out for shopping, because I don't really go out for shopping. So this is this is the reality. So you have to find a way to get your exercise and get your outside air, kind of thing. Maybe if it was summer, it would have been differently, but now because it's winter, it's a bit more difficult, I would say. Not impossible, but a bit more difficult to go out and do stuff. So yeah, those are kind of the weird stuff I did. I had some videos posted on Instagram from when I went outside, and I went outside for a run, so I actually filmed those ones. And there was so much wind. When I'm talking about speed, you have to take into account that when you're running in my city, you're always going to have headwind. So then it's much harder to run, actually, because the wind is so strong, it kind of pushes you back. So whenever you're running against the wind, it's very funny, because then you're slowed down. Like, I think sometimes you might think that you're walking faster than what you're running when you have headwind. It's very funny. And then sometimes the wind is in the back, and that's when you do your best times. So I think I really like my city, because I can get both my worst times but also my best times in my app. So then I can compete with others and say, you see how fast I was here, but nobody knows that it was because my wind was in the back and all that stuff. So it's the same when I go with the bike. A lot of times when you're going towards the dike to bike, the wind is very strong, and then it takes you forever to reach there, and you cannot go more than 17-18 kilometers per hour. But when you're back, man, I'm fast. I'm 22 kilometers per hour. Stuff. So yeah, don't say I don't know. It is quite nice a lot of times to just go and do exercises. The good part is that means I can eat a little bit more, because I'm doing more exercises, so that's a good part. So I'm doing this one, and this one. So I need to just turn my painting around. These ones are smaller a little bit. So I did a variety of sizes when I painted this one. Initially I wanted to have a lot more variety, but tonight we're just gonna do this. Okay. But feel free to try out your own paintings while I'm talking here, and do some really cool stuff. Okay, I'm really liking how the depth is added when I'm just adding these colors here, and how I manage. You can really see when you have the good brush, you can do this. You can. So long I didn't have the correct brush. But guess what I did? I bought 3 of them. so that I don't run out anymore and they don't go out of stock anymore, because I was like, oh, I couldn't buy them for half a year. For half a year, I couldn't buy these brushes that I really like. And now I'm like, now that they have them on stock, I'll buy 3. And by the way, they're not like, these are like artificial brushes. So they're not like the real hair brushes that cost like 20 euros per brush or 25 euros per brush. This is actually only 6 euros per brush. So that's why I could afford to buy 3 of them and not, only 2. But they're really good brushes. The part of them being synthetic has nothing to do with the quality of the brush. Of course, if you buy the $1 store ones, you're gonna have problem because they're gonna disintegrate when you add water. But these particular brushes, by the way, I think I have a harsh line there. I'm trying to do it. What happens is they disintegrate over a couple of months, right? So they do last you a couple of months, but then they start losing the hairs. So that is the problem with these brushes. Not much you can do about it, but that's why I bought 3. So then I don't have to worry about it. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Okay. I could also try a new way of doing this and do harsh shadows. I think this one needs a little bit more shadows here. Much more harsher. And luckily, because I don't do much water, they dry out pretty fast, so I can very fast do a secondary, third layer kind of thing. Okay, I'm really digging this one. And now, which one was the last one? This one in this corner was the last one with that color. So let's just do it. The roses are easier to do, to be honest. Okay. The easiest to do rose or any flowers, the easiest to draw is if you're drawing towards you. If you're going against the grain, then that becomes really hard to do. So my advice, turn the paper around. Don't know why I don't do that more often. Maybe it's because I'm thinking it's a live stream and I don't want to ruin the stuff and I don't want to, randomly do this. But yeah. I've been trying to get into this journaling kind of thing, like bullet journal. Let's name it as it is, a bullet journal. I just don't have the time and the patience to sit and doodle in my bullet journal and to make it all pretty. I really say respect to those girls that spend hours upon hours to do their new month spreads and all that stuff. I'm like, 5 lines, okay, I have my calendar, yeah, that's enough. Like, I spend enough time if I have my calendar. And I really wanted to start with the bullet journaling because it's still quite trendy thing to do, but it's just I can't be bothered. I am picking up the color where I think I put too much color. Okay, so now that the roses, I've done 2 layers, what I could do is I could go for even darker stuff, or I could try to do the ranunculus, right? Or should I do let's do the ranunculus. I want to start with the red ones because those are also the most ones. So let's start. Red one, more alizarin crimson. I don't even go into the perlin maroon yet. pearly maroon is gonna be my last layer on the ranunculus, because that's a brown, it's a maroon, and that's gonna be the last layer for now. Okay, now I'm thinking, where is this red? Because you know these petals go inward, so this I need to think. Okay, so I think I know here. Where is the red? Let's try to do. And I really feel like I need a number 3 here. You see, that's the problem with the ranunculus, is that the petals are so tiny and so fragile. It's very hard, even with a number 4 brush, to be able to do anything. Let's see if the number 3 can help us better. If not, I'll get a number 2. I do have smaller brushes, by the way. I did buy a lot of these number 0 brushes and blah 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 blah. Why did I do that? Why did I spend money on like useless stuff? Like, what do you do with a number 1/10 of a 0? I was trying to paint something, and that thing, it doesn't even hold enough water to do anything. It's so frustrating. And I'm like, if I need to do a dot or something, I'll just get a freaking pen and I'll do that. Okay, let's do this. The outside petals are a little bit better, so I still want to make an ombre effect. If you're wondering what tutorials I'm watching for my iPad, our name is Tila every Tuesday. So every Tuesday she does a new tutorial, and everything is, even the color palette, people can download it and they can follow along and all that stuff. So it's really nice. I really like her. I really like how she explains everything. She doesn't skip steps. Okay, this is what I hate about tutorials online, like people skipping steps in between. Like I said, like I was watching this Ranunculus tutorial and I was like, oh yeah, I found one, and then they're like, no, wait, you know, you see step 1, step 2, and then you skip till step 10. And that's what you get. It's like, it's very frustrating, to be honest. So don't get me started on that one. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do something that is called glazing. And glazing, it means I'm gonna go with yellow underneath, and I'm gonna glaze over the red, and then it will create this nice peachy color. Okay, it already has dimension. Notice how, because I just added this extra color, it already has dimension, right? In a perfect world, you would say I could even finish the painting here because it has enough dimension, you know. And then it still stays a bit pastelish, and then you can say, I've done my duty, served my country honorably. Yeah, very funny. Okay. Okay. Because anyway, I need some really nice yellow here for the middle. And now I'm gonna just get some yellow. And I'm gonna glaze over the red. It's gonna create an interesting color. In some areas, right? Not everywhere, but in some areas I need to glaze over the red just to create a bit more contrast. And that's okay. You have to know that on glazing, successful glazing depends on the transparency of the color that you're glazing with. So if I would have gone glazing with a yellow that was, let's take for example New Gamboge. It's a wonderful yellow. I do not deny that it's one of the nicest yellows out there. But the problem with New Gamboge is it's not transparent. New Gamboge is pretty opaque because it has some kind of white in it and stuff like that. So if you do glazing with something that is more opaque, guess what you're gonna get? Nothing. It's gonna look very terrible. But we are doing some glazing with the normal yellow, which is this. Then it looks really pretty. And now we're gonna do the last piece, which is the darker red. And the darker red is this Berlin maroon. Okay. So what are you guys working on while listening to me? Because I'm pretty sure some of you are working on something or doing something. It will be fun to share what you're working on. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. This is really going to make it pop. I've been watching lots of, and people might judge me for it. I've been watching lots of mangas lately. And I found a genre of mangas that I really like, and you might find it funny. But the reason why I'm actually watching them is because surprisingly a lot of the drawings and a lot of the scenes are surrounded by flowers, like watercolor flowers, and I'm watching those ones so that I can learn how to better paint and how to better do compositions. I mean, I'm sure the stories are also very good, but mainly that is why I'm watching those, which is very funny, because you might have thought that maybe I'm just doing it because I'm bored or anything, but actually, theoretically, it's because of the flowers. Some of the arrangements are really nice in those mangas. So I'm learning by watching and by reading. Okay. Wow, that took quite a while. That took quite a while. Okay, never mind. We move on to the next one. It's already 8. Johan says, working and on looking for a ring light setup and a connection to the wall. Oh, okay, the ring light setup. Funny enough, I have a tiny ring light, like this tiny here, that shines directly on top of it. I hope it's enough light. I think I might need to change it because I think it It's just too little. I mean, it works if I want to film with my phone and all that, but not always, man. But for now, it's okay. I've been also watching some people with the ring lights and so on to see what they use. I might consider also changing some stuff, but not yet. Why would you sometimes want to do it in the wall and not on a shelf or something? Johan, can you share with the audience here why would you put the ring light on the wall and not on a shelf? I need to be very careful here. Okay. I don't want to mess things up. Not after I spend almost an hour painting this. It's always like this, like you start getting slower and slower because you put a lot of effort into it already. So if you're gonna mess it up at the last possible moment, that's gonna take the wind out of you, to be honest, I think. Okay. This petal theoretically is below the leaf, so it should be quite dark, I would say. Okay, let's try to do the middle. The middle is always nice to do. And I'm gonna spread the color and do a little bit of glazing around, and then I'm gonna come back with more color exactly in the middle, and then do it like this. And now I'm gonna go with my darkest, which is Berlin Maroon, and let's see what darker values I can add. Okay, I have some petals here. You can notice that I wasn't really considering, like the first one I did was very good. The second ones, I didn't really think it through. Of the Ranunculus, I didn't really think it through. So maybe I just need to do a little bit more loose coloring and not be so nervous about it. It is what it is, but the flower itself is not. Okay. Dun dun dun. Okay, it has quite some depth. I'm not upset about it. It has quite some nice depth. And maybe adding some pieces here and there of this orange might brighten some things up just because I can. You might think, oh, Claudia is doing random colors here and there and stuff like that. I'm not doing random colors here and there. The shelf will come down. Okay, so that's because you have a very big one or something, and that's why the shelf will go down, or like that. Big ring light. I have to admit, I really wish my ring light would be bigger a bit. Okay. I have this one, and then I can go to this one and this one, but then these ones I can just rotate. But I'll do this one, and then maybe I'll do this tree with the purple, and then I rotate and I do the remainder, right? And then we can do the nice leaves, and then we'll see if I want to do an extra layer or not. Maybe I want to do some of this orange here, actually. Since we are around, let's do some extra layer. On the orange ones. You see, roses are technically easier to, they're easier to color than these ones. Okay, that looks nice, that looks promising. Let's do this one. What did I say? I said that I did Galaxy Violet, and then maybe I want to do, let's do Tundra Rose as the darker color. Or Tundra Violet, Tundra Rose. Let's try Tundra Rose first. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, that's the perfect one. Tundra Rose is the perfect one. Don't get sidetracked. This one has really tiny petals all around. So I'm just going to try very hard to leave some spaces and some white stuff. Well, white. Technically they're not white, but you know. Not to color in everything. Yeah, okay, good. This was supposed to be a really tiny flower. I don't know how that it emerged as a very big one. I was thinking like there has to be some flowers beneath all these leaves. I didn't want to leave a blank space, but yeah. Okay. The center. By the way, yellow and purple really go well together. If you didn't know, take it from me. They're complementary colors and they're really going well together. So yeah, that's why I'm adding little hints of yellow just to make it pop a little bit. Doesn't have to be everywhere, just in some areas. Okay, that's cool. Let's try this one as well. I'm gonna do all the centers right now. My husband is trying to run away. I don't know where he's trying to run away. You know, for those of you who don't know, I do not have my own atelier, or I do not have my own art room or anything. I have my own art desk, and that's about it, right? I don't have an art room. So, yeah, it happens. I mean, it's not like I have infinite space in the house. And I'm actually, right now, I'm in the attic / living room, okay? So this is also our living room. This is my workspace because I have my work desk on the other side of this. And this is my desk for my art. And there my husband works on the other side. And then in the back, we have our couch and our TV, right? So it's kind of a room that encompasses all. We don't have separate rooms for all of this, like maybe other people. That's because, you know, our house is not that big. So that's it. So that's why I'm really grateful that my husband is trying to be very silent when I'm doing this. He's still working on stuff, but you know, I don't have to worry about him. He's like, okay, as long as you keep it to a couple of times a week, then I can be silent while you do your live stream. Even though he's in the same room as me, and he probably wants to also utilize the room or watch TV or whatever. But he's like, okay, I'm not gonna watch TV while you do your live stream, and that's fine. He doesn't. I think my luck is, and this is my luck, is he's not really a person that watches lots of sports or anything. So, you know, I'm not gonna catch him going like, oh, I need to see my football game now, so you can't, you know, do your live stream or things like that, because he is actually pretty understanding on that respect, and he's not watching really football games or other stuff. He likes to watch his podcast. He's a bit like me, you know. He's like, oh, podcast this, and you know, he was watching this documentary about the Beatles, and he keeps telling about the Beatles. He keeps trying to get me to watch the Beatles documentary, and although that sounds like a really nice thing to do, I did not grow up with the Beatles when I grew up, so I'm not really I don't have that much connection with them, you know. So that is my only problem with the Beatles documentary, is that you want to watch a Beatles documentary if you know the band, if you know the music, if you kind of grew up with them, then you can see how the songs were created, which is really nice. But for me, yeah, I would watch a documentary about Nightwish and so on, but you know, that's just me. And you're probably wondering, Claudia, what's up here, and so on. Okay. Let's do this. It's a 2 hour. Are we already at the 2 hour? No, we're not at the 2 hour mark. It's okay. We still have time. I usually tend to not want to go longer than 2 hours, even if I don't finish something, because to be honest, if it's longer than 2 hours, then my brain stops working properly. So that's why. But yeah. It's a good thing I didn't take a number 2 round brush, because then that will take even longer. But it's okay. Okay. Notice how I'm blending this. I'm not really blending it out, I'm blending it in. So I'm pushing the color in while simultaneously softening the edge. And this way I ensure that this area still stay fonzy. Josepha. Okay, I don't know what the FYI is, but hi, welcome. So I am rubbing the color in, but rubbing it towards where the most concentrated color is. This way I don't make a mistake and I don't push the color in. Welcome for everybody that joined late right now on this live stream. We are watercoloring this piece. I think we've already done the roses pretty well, except this one. And now we're just finalizing the ranunculus. And once we're done with that, then the last remaining piece is going to be the awesome leaves, to do a second layer on them, because I haven't done a layer on that. Okay, so let me see the parts in here that need a little bit more darker color. Okay, and then again blending it in and out to create a smooth gradient. It's getting harder and harder, especially when things are so small, right? But it still looks awesome. I still believe it looks awesome. I will do this one also. Then I can rotate this, and then we can have a look at all of these ones, what we need to do. Dum-dum-dum. I'm lucky that my cats are still sleeping. Somehow the chief cat, which is Hap, or is it Dit? My chief cat that is usually always awake and starting to bug me already, has been very tired lately because he's been running around the whole night and now he's tired. So luckily for me, he's not around to bug us, and we can finish these paintings in peace, I would say. Right? Okay. And can do some more glazing around and stuff like that. I really like how this one turned out. This one really, you can see the depth. This one as well. This one, I think the drawing wasn't really good in the first place, so I'm gonna forgive myself to say that I've done all I could on that one, but there's nothing saving it, because the drawing was not on par with what I wanted to achieve with color. Sometimes you have to just learn to let go and say, okay, I've done everything I could. Not much you can do right now. Okay, a bit red. I'm trying to mix and match the colors so that all the flowers kind of, you tie them together into one, right? That's why. I'm adding a little bit more darker red here because I think it's missing it. It's missing a little bit more of the depth that I was expecting from this one. And then I can turn around the paper and do the rest. And this one needs a little bit of color, a tiny bit of red here and there, just to tie it in with the other parts of the composition. Okay, I keep whispering. Why do I keep whispering like that and so on? I was trying to get some classes also on how to speak in front of a camera and all that stuff, and then I realized that I speak quite fast. And the people and everybody that does these very calming videos, they kind of regulate their voice, and it goes like, oh, in very subtle voice and so on. And I'm like very bubbly person. I'm like, oh, something happens and blah blah blah. And I like to talk, and it's so unnatural for me. But it was a funny one. I don't know if you guys used to watch this guy on YouTube called Vsauce. Vsauce? Yeah, Vsauce his name was. He showed once how his real voice is like versus the voice that he does for his YouTube videos. And that was such a big difference. Okay, now I'm really going to turn it around and we're gonna work on this side of the painting, okay? Like I said, it's always better to work facing yourself. Okay, the biggest one is this one. So let's just do it. Let's just bite the bullet and do it. We're not gonna be able to... I'm not gonna be able to undo the thing that I did here, because I made this flower way too big. It's already too late. I've already drawn it. There's nothing I can do about it. So we're just gonna have to live with it, and we're gonna have to add the red and the other parts where it needs to be. So, yay. And you might wonder, why did I add the red here and not on the other side? Because the petal closes in like that. So this is why I'm doing this. And this petal being on the outside goes onto the other direction. So yeah, now you might understand why I'm doing this like this. Okay, and rubbing and scrubbing the watercolor, it's a good trick to have on your sleeve. Okay, spreading around the color. And now already this part, notice that it has dried already, so it becomes a bit more harder to control. But that's why you need to make this circular motion and just rub the color in the paper. And it will eventually loosen, and if it doesn't work, once you've wet the paper, you just add a little more color, and then it won't be as noticeable. Okay. Okay. Water keeps falling everywhere. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Would you actually throw this one away? Like, okay, I wasn't really happy with the drawing, as in I was happy with some parts of the drawing but not with the entire drawing. But the reason why I did it on my good paper was so that I don't just discard it. Like, I would have given up on it if it wasn't on the good paper. I think I have this feeling I would have given up on it. And I don't want to give up on paintings. I want to just treat them as learning points always. And I say, okay, I'm learned, and nothing is really a failure. Everything is a learning opportunity, basically. So, but maybe sometimes when maybe you're doing a commission or you're doing something, right? Sometimes it makes sense to just start over again, because you don't wanna upset the... It's not like I'm like gonna give to a client like, okay, this is my tryout. I don't think it works like that. Okay, I'm gonna go more close to the center now. Once this is a little bit dry, I'm gonna come with really dark color. And this is still wet, so then I can deepen some colors here and there, because I really think it should be a little bit more red. Although I really like the pastel kind of feeling that I get. Okay, this is getting along pretty fine. Now let's do the center. And let's add some yellow things here and there. I think this was the point where on this flower, I don't think I was paying attention. Oh, Renat, hi, how's it going? I have not seen you in forever, man. I saw some pictures of you on Instagram from Dubai. Are you still in Dubai? I'm following him on Instagram, okay? Like, if you want me to follow you or something, let me know. But yeah, how are things going? How's the family? I hope it's all okay. I'm doing some flowers here, Renat. We're spending some time doing some interesting designs and so on. But I haven't seen you a long time here, so just gonna assume you've been busy. But thanks for joining. I'm gonna do the two purple ones, and then when this is dry, I'm gonna come with the really dark color. You're not good, yes, still there. Let's get in touch soon. Okay, yes, let's get in touch. Let's see how things are going and all that stuff. This is awesome. Although I think in Dubai right now, I think must be really warm, or is it always warm in there? Because I don't know. Dubai is a mystery. Like mysterious things happening. I'm not dealing very well with warmth, to be honest. I think my preferred temperature is 19 degrees. If it's 19 degrees and sunny-ish, then I'm okay. If it's not 19 degrees, then it's either too much or too less. So, yeah, it's very funny. I think I was watching some YouTubers from Dubai. I think still the artwork there. Yes, it's 22, 24, nice weather and sunny. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so it's not that warm as I was thinking that's gonna be, right? Because I was thinking it's gonna be like close to 40 degrees or something. So, you know, that's okay. That's okay. I guess it's considered kind of winter for them, but you know, probably not very wintry or not very lesser season. Okay. Dun. What I know in Dubai is that they're very big in drawing these geometric patterns with and having really cool designs, I would say. I am trying to learn from other. let's say I'm trying to learn from other cultures and from other places. I think there was this Suriname patterns that I was looking into it, like the batik style or other things. They're really nice to learn how to draw and to look how, you know, other people look at things. It's a good idea. Dun, dun, dun. But I think when this thing blows over, and it might never blow over, it might never blow over. I'm just trying to be realistic here, but realistically speaking, it might never blow over. But I'm hoping I can travel in the near future, and I can also go to places, and the reason why I want to travel is because I want to get inspiration. I want to get inspiration about patterns and art, and you know, go and buy artsy stuff from other countries, and you know, do cool stuff with it. And currently I can't do that, right? I wanted to do like urban sketching, and I was thinking, okay, I want to go to Edinburgh because those are really nice houses to do urban sketching with. And you can't travel there, like even if I'm from the Netherlands and so on, like it's almost impossible to go. And like I want to travel to the sea so I can learn how to draw the sea and all of that stuff. But again, that is pretty difficult to do. Everybody's closing their borders and doing insane requirements to get inside the country. I had some colleagues that were supposed to travel back, and they found out they had the cold mort just before boarding the flight, because you know they were doing the test, the PCR test, and yeah, a lot of them were like, yeah, but you know, they had no symptoms, they had no idea that they had it, but because they had to test themselves to prove that they're okay, and they had to wait and you know spend 2 more weeks of hotel money and all that, because they had to, you know, quarantine and all of that stuff. It can be quite nerve-wracking, hence why I don't travel yet. I only traveled to Copenhagen for work, but even that one is over now because, well, you know, there's a lot of travel restrictions, so I'm not gonna go there. Okay. Somehow I still like the yellow ones. The yellow ones really bring balance to this entire work. Okay. I'm doing the orange on the yellow ones to deepen the shadows and so on. Yeah, that looks good. You kind of forget about these two that are not looking so good. I mean, this Ranunculus looks very good. This one I like. So these two I like a lot. This one I like as well. It really looks cool. I would say. Yeah, except two in here that don't really have, let's say, the colors that I was expecting them to have and the shapes that I was expecting them to have. The rest are okay. So I didn't make many mistakes on this one, I would say. It still looks okay. But you know what I noticed? Like, there's a reason why I don't want to do it longer than 2 hours usually. It's because I noticed that my brain starts to go like foggy, and I just start to hurry up just to finish it, because my brain goes into this, I'm bored, I've been doing this for too long. So, you know, normally if I wasn't doing a live stream, I would have taken a break. I would have, you know, watched something online in the same time. I would have watched a podcast or watched or listened to a podcast or something, right? I would have done something else to keep my mind occupied. But because I'm not doing that and I'm just doing the live stream, my brain gets tired really quickly. So that's why 2 hours is kind of my limit. I'm wondering if I can actually, I'm just realizing now that I deepened the purple here with red, and it really looks nice. And I'm wondering if I can deepen the red with some purple to salvage it. What do you guys think? Johan, what do you think? You're my color person, so tell me. Am I thinking right, or am I going to just make it more messy than needed? I trust your judgment here. Maybe I should just not touch it anymore. How do you call that? Let it go, let it go. Da, 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 da. I wonder if they're gonna demonetize my video because I'm singing Frozen songs. Maybe I should have not. Okay. I don't know what you guys are doing with the FYI and stuff, but hello and welcome to the people that are online right now. This is I guess this is the last one that I'm doing, and then I'm going to concentrate on the leaves, really make those ones shine, and so on, and then I'm going to call it a day, because the leaves have been well, I'm not going to say neglected, because they already have a nice color, but I haven't touched them since the beginning, since the first layer. So, you know, I'm trying to see if I can speed paint here. Like this corner one, nobody's gonna notice it, so I'm trying to see if I do some speed painting, if this is gonna be okay. Actually, it looks okay, especially from far away. I don't see any problems. I'm just dabbing the color. This is what I call speed painting. So, like, I'm hoping that the water does the work for me and will mix and match everything. Okay, this is okay. This is okay. This actually I need to wait for it to dry, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna dry way differently. This one needs a little bit more color here and there. And then I'm going to just do the leaves. And the leaves, we're gonna try to... like this one I'm going to do with the forest green, and forest green is a really nice color. Forest green is more olive, so I'm just gonna do a gradient. I'm just gonna pull the color in, and this is what I need, very subtle gradient, right? I'm not gonna do crazy colors, but a nice gradient is something that is working very well. So water, color, and then pulling it out. Okay, water, color, pulling it out. That's how we do it. So then you have a gradient that already looks, and then at the end I'm going to darken it with, actually with black. And by the way, black, very transparent color, super transparent, but it darkens everything and it makes things really pop. So hence why we're using black as the darkest color. Don't be afraid to use black in any situation, because it's transparent and it's not gonna like just sit on top of everything and ruin it. It actually is gonna let the other color shine underneath, but just give it a really nice tint. Because I'm planning to rotate the paper to get to the other leaves, I'm gonna do these leaves here with the same color. Actually, I'm just doing a second layer. Okay, so that's it. Okay, yeah, that's cool. That looks really well. Let's try to do this part and this part, and then I'm gonna rotate the paper, do the other ones. What will happen is probably tomorrow with new eyes, I'm just gonna look at it and I'm going to go and finish up. If I need to add any shadows here and there, if I need to add white highlights here and there, probably I'm going to have to add some white highlights. So that is going to happen tomorrow. Do not ever try to finish a good piece that you've done in the same day. You're not going to see the differences. You're not going to see the things in that day. Trust me. I've tried and I failed multiple times because of this. So learn from me, from my experience, and don't do as I do. Like, let a few hours at least in between finalizing a piece and, you know, the last finishing touches. You need new eyes, you need a new perspective of it. And usually what I found is that the next morning, if I look at it, then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I could do some extra things here. I could darken some other things here. So usually I can do all of that. So yeah, that's I hope it helps you not overwork your painting while you're doing it. Okay. Wow, this looks really nice. This really starts to pop now, especially with the leaves more darker a little bit. I think I have a winning combination here. Okay, I see only one that needs a little bit more darkening here. And then I'll do the blue ones. Or blue ones, it's a blue-green It's called forest blue, and I wonder why it's called forest blue, because it's like a forest and it's blue, so it's blue green, so you don't have to worry about making your own blue green. Okay. Okay, since we are very much closing the end of this live stream, I mean, it might take a minute or two to finalize, because I have 1 or 2 leaves. I just wanted to thank everybody that is online and has been online. Thank you so much for being with me and keeping me company. Turning around an artwork is also great to get other perspective on the artwork. Oh yeah, you're right, Johan. Thank you so much. Yes, you're right. You know what good artists do, and not me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. But they usually, when they do like things like digital, they just mirror things, and then they get the other perspective and go like, oh, it's really not looking very well in the perspective, and then they try to fix it and so on. Of course, you cannot mirror stuff when you're doing like this type of things. It's a little bit impossible. But just remember, like, even rotating will help. Okay, I'm not gonna overwork it now. I know I need to add white highlights and darken some other spots and so on, but so far I'm really liking it. I'm gonna put my brush down because that's it. And again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being with me. Thank you, Marlena, Johan, Rinat, Fonzie, and Beppa, and everybody else that chatted with me, and everybody that is online. Thank you so much for watching with me. When I'm finalizing this one, I'm going to be posting it on Instagram and so on, and probably maybe a community post so you can see, how the end result is. But yeah, thank you so much for watching with me, and goodbye.